Here I am, Leon C., aka Morpheus. Today, you are in the Academy of Wildman. We're going to do a little research today. Actually, I've done the research for you. See, my whole task and mission is to save lives one day at a time. And to bring awareness. That's the whole point of my red pill, to open up your eyes and to give you a sort of enlightenment, maybe towards things you already know or things you haven't heard of before. See, I went back in time to look at some of the technologies that have failed and some of the items that we have used and is using today that is currently available for you that is distorted, broken, fresh off the manufacturer lot. And what I mean is, no, it's not that it's broken, it's low quality. These are what they call, what we would like to call them as mechanic inferior parts. See, a lot of people know that generally a lot of things that have been created and is created today isn't the quality it used to be, because there's a lot of cost cutting. There's a lot of shortcutting. There's a lot of we need to save our resources sort of manufacturing. It's almost like when you have a bushel of herbs and plants and vegetables that you can put out on the market for a good price. So what they do is they pinch on you. They hold back the essential vitamins and nutrition that some of those herbs or those products may have, or produce as we like to call them. And they'll sell you the low quality, the insufficient, watered down version of their products or produce. Where you'll get for an example, you'll get a head of lettuce with practically no sort of nutritional content to it, with no sort of benefit to it. It's just the fact that it's lettuce and it's vegetables. Just the fact that it's green, but you get nothing from it. But everything that was there is taken out of it. As an example, amongst all the other produce and vegetables that you may have, because that's very common. When you go to the store, you see it. It's really not even giving you anything. You're pretty much wasting your time putting a bowl of lettuce on your table and starving yourself and giving yourself a lack of nutrition and no balance at the same time, thinking it's just a thought that you're eating healthy, and you're really not. So where did the vitamins go? Where did the nutrition go? So when it comes to automobiles, it's the same way. Yes, they'll make something. It seems good for the first year when it's created, when it's on the manufacturer lot to your car dealerships, and it's shiny. This car looks pretty good. You sit on the inside and you're smelling the fresh leather or interior. You're looking at the clean rearview mirror, if you have one. If you're not lazy enough to always need a backup camera, but most of you. You see all the bells and whistles and the sunroof, and they show you the trunk area, and it's spacious. There's a lot to be had in this automobile. But for you who was born yesterday, you don't understand that cars have decreased in the value that they once did. And not only the cars decreased in the value that they once did, the minds of the people and also the understanding of mechanics and engineering at its very basic. We don't have to deal with the failures of technology as we do. We don't have to, but we do, because the person who's making it is flawed. They're flawed on two behalves. On one behalf, they're trying to cost cut. They're trying to worry about their financial ceiling, and they're trying to save money. So they give you this plastic, sometimes fiberglass, sometimes aluminum are this so-called made-up metal, fragile, reprocessed plastic, recycled material in this car that if you cut it in half will have more styrofoam in between the bumpers, more styrofoam in your door panels, more styrofoam underneath your seats with other type of recycled material than you could ever imagine. I know this because I'm in the automobile circulation. I'm in the automobile field, so I know all about this, that you're getting crap than what it used to be. You're getting it's almost like you're driving a laptop and you break a laptop open or a computer open. You'll see the circuit board, the motherboard. You'll see the chips here, the SSD card and stuff like that there, and the screen. But you have just a plastic husk that this circuit board is either soldered to or it's screwed onto with miniature bolts and screws. So how does that become the being? Well, let me tell you something about the history and past, and I did my research on it, and I tried to do a screen capture for you. So I'm gonna read from screen captures here. But I did look up the aircrafts as well, how many fatalities there were, but it was more. They see the news when they put something on the internet or when they make it publicly available. They're gonna lie to you. They're gonna give you their version, and they're not really gonna give you the full Monty. Because they know that you're going to freak out. They know you're going to worry. They know that you're not going to want to fly in their airplanes anymore. They know that you're going to reject wanting to go from Florida up to Washington, D.C. or California or all the way over there to New Jersey, New York City, so forth. If you really cared about yourself. And it's more of a Russian roulette than what it used to be. But what they tried to post, and I don't have it right here, but I'm going to go with my memory. They said it was 29,000 something fatalities, and they didn't give the length of how many years. But when I typed in years, I said in total, how many fatalities were they of plane crashes? They tried to only display 29,000 when we know it was more than that in the history of mankind, or this the history of the airplane itself. There's been more fatalities than that. Okay. And they tried to say it was only 929 airplanes that have landed or have crashed in the history of America, or the history of the world, basically. But I'm pretty sure that I would have had to put in a little bit more details as well, because it was kind of vague information there. But you get the picture, and we can all agree that we know it was much more than that, much more than 29,000 fatalities and many more airplane crashes besides 926. The whole point I'm bringing this up before I get into this, reading some articles for you, is this autonomy thing about these cars autonomy is a pile of bullcrap. Because what you're doing is putting your faith in man and man's technology. And it has proven to you over the years of engineering and technology that people pass away. Fatality is met more with the machines and the airplanes and the automobiles that men make than a lot of other things that can naturally happen, than natural fatalities. Deaths, that is. Okay? You have a better chance of, and I'm not trying to put fear in you, I'm just giving you the reality here, because this is Morpheus. Red pill reality. If you can't take it, okay, you're not grown. You're not mature. You have a better chance of getting into a car wreck than waking up in a burning house. Or better yet, a lightning strike. Or better yet, someone walking up to you with a 9mm and I was gonna say a 45 like Clint Eastwood and say "make my day," but and put you face to face with your life at the edge of a barrel. Even though it happens in some towns and some cities, and that's not saying violence and these sort of life-threatening situations don't happen. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you still have a higher probability and higher chance of meeting fatality by the hands of an engineer or a person who decided to create an automobile or an aircraft, or better yet, the machines that you drive on a day-to-day basis due to, and there is several researches based on some of those resulting factors that was spurned and created by engineering malfunction, by the manufacturer who created these flaws in these particular automobiles. See, when Volvo and Tesla and other automobiles begin to make their automobiles, and I'm not going to say Tesla, I'm not going to point my finger at them like that, because I didn't do my full research on their beginnings, but and a lot of them was hearsay and rumor, but there was some articles as well, that depicted that when they begin to do their research and development of the autonomy car, a car that can drive on its own without human assistance, there were some fatalities. There were some issues. The car did go off the road. The car did end up in a ditch somewhere. The car did end up in an explosion. The car did end up in a bad situation. The car did ignore the operator. These are things they don't want to tell you about, because if they did, you would not be interested in the autonomy car. That's just like when the Apple phone first came out. I'm pretty sure with the research and development, before it even became known to the world, before it came out of the warehouse or out of their plant of building these phones for you. Okay, I'm pretty sure they came up with their snags. There were issues. There's always going to be a computer chip that's going to catch on fire. There's going to be something that's going to give out too much radiation. It's going to give out too much of a signal or too little of a signal, or the battery is going to burn out, or the battery's not going to be too much. Compatibility. It's called quality and control. We know this. We're not stupid, or at least I'm not. Okay. But in the beginnings is not what a lot of people know of, because you have to fail before you succeed. We know that, right? As mature adults, we have to fail before we succeed. But there have been some very obvious failures during the years that have depicted what we are willing to sign up for. See, I told you that when you depend on computers, machines, and other augmented sort of forms of surviving, you're giving up your human superiority. When you rather use a saw to cut a tree down instead of an axe, yeah, it's going to be a little longer to use an axe. It's going to be difficult to use an axe, but you're going to be better for it when it's all done versus just using a chainsaw or a large machine that can just cut this tree in half. Now, that's not to say that using machines like that is a total loss and a bad thing. As I tell you before, we go above and beyond. We do the most, and we do too much with our technology. We don't know what our limit is, and we don't want to know what our limit is, and we are too dumb, and we are too self-indulged in our lazy American-ass lifestyle to realize that there is a limit to how much power you give the machine world, the machine life, the transhumanism that we are accepting. And I already told you before that I kind of understood this thing about electric cars versus the environment versus what you need to do to cost cut gasoline and oil. I understand that. But that wasn't the limit. That wasn't where they wanted you to focus on. As logical and sensible as that might be, even at the lighter end or the lighter spectrum. But now they're going to have automatic driving cars that drive for you, which again is called autonomy, autonomous cars, which goes above and beyond just this electrical vehicle. Now it's saying, now we're going to drive for you. Now we're going to control you, the driver, where you are no longer the driver. You are being driven. And why is this happening? Because we accept it. Because we haven't got the message yet. Out of all the airplanes that fell out of the sky or got shot out of the sky, either one, they came falling down with 200 to 230 something passengers, more or less, who lost their lives in that one day. We, dumb humans, still don't get the message. We don't get the message. Out of every fatality that have happened in the intersection because somebody's brakes failed, because the computer, because somebody's key fell out the ignition. Hello, listen to me. Somebody's keys fell out of the ignition where it was supposed to be locked in place because of the manufacturer flaw wasn't enough. Because years ago, not now, not to bring any heat on Firestone, but that was years ago when they had bad tires, which pretty much warped itself right off of the tire while a person was driving. And those who have met fatality are very terrible situations. What enough? No. We still don't get it because we're just so intelligent. We use our college education to be dumb. That's what we do. So dumb now, where now the cars are obviously telling us exactly the future that we're going to receive because we don't love our great grandchild, because we want to live into now. So now, since you want to live in the now, okay, because you don't have long vision that I tell you, your professor, to do. Now the cars are having more faulty issues with vital things such as an airbag that's supposed to protect you when it deploys. Imagine you're driving something simple like 45 miles per hour and some bozo misses the red light and decides to keep on going because they were going too fast or they weren't paying attention because they were too busy looking at their dumb phone. And here you are in your own space bubble. You're thinking that you're invincible and you're God's gift to the universe, meets this person at a T-bone. And actually they T-bone you right on the side. And guess what, my dear friend? Guess what? The airbag is called a side airbag that's supposed to deploy and save you from the impact, does not deploy, and you and your frail, weak, fragile human body meet metal and glass. And when you wake up, you're in the hospital and you don't know how you got there. Well, Morpheus is going to tell you how you got there. Are y'all ready? It's called ignorance. Because you don't listen. And frankly, you or whoever come before you don't really care. So I know what y'all thinking. Why should Morpheus care since you don't care, right? I'll be cold-hearted to say something like that, wouldn't it? Well, I'm making the audio to give you caution. You can't say nobody ever told you. You heard this before. As a matter of fact, it's been in your face for decades now. How many recalls have you experienced or seen in your society from your brand new cars? They are brand spanking new and they got recalls, but yet y'all still want to drive in and out. You know, okay. But let me slow down because Morpheus is stupid. Morpheus don't know what he's talking about. You know, yeah, I'm talking about myself in the third person. You don't like it? Get over it. Because I'm not changing my program for your ignorance and your soft, politically correct mindset. I'm not programmed. You are, not me. Now you know I'm programmed, Morpheus. Yeah, shut up. Listen. I'm going to go ahead and read for you, my dear Neos of this grid construct. Okay, because that's where you want to be at anyway. You don't want to be free. Okay, I'm gonna read to you all the new cars and a little bit of some of the past, and I'm gonna read, and at the end I'm gonna tell you the list of religions as well in a minute. I went and did some research as well on some of the main religions, and some of them I think it's like 3 or 4 of them. I didn't get the fullness of it. Oh, as a matter of fact, okay, I see it. I did actually get the information here. Now that I'm pulling it up before you about the airplane. Okay, let me switch a gear here. And then we're going to get on to these cars. What I typed in was how many plane crashes happen. This is Forbes. Okay. And it said also how many airplane crashes in 2016, how many plane crash a year. So you can pretty much play with that and go through the details of it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. And this is by Forbes. It says 2017. Okay. And of course, probably more than that. So it says here a total of 1,918 accidents involving jet airliners of all types, including cargo, killing 29,646 aboard and 1,216 on the ground. Dang it. Woo. Yeah, that's up there. That's like 3 something. Definitely nope. That's something. Yeah, it's like 3 to yeah, 1, 2, 3. Definitely, yeah. 3 to 4. That's like 3,000 and some change altogether. Some change. Wow. And let's continue. Resulting in a grand total of 973 destroyed aircrafts. These numbers exclude quite a few losses that other databases might include, of course, such as fatal and non-fatal injuries from natural causes. I don't know about you, but that's still a really big number. That's still a huge number of losses of people who depended on technology, depended on the machine. Now, are you beginning to see why I'm called Morpheus even more? See, just listen to me. Just hear my conversation and you will know why I'm called Morpheus. Then eventually you begin to believe. And what I mean by believe is the same as what Morpheus said to Neo. And it wasn't just the fact that Neo needed to believe in himself, but to understand Morpheus's position was to help Neo to be the best that Neo can be. Because it wasn't that Morpheus was the one. You are the one. Are you hearing what I just said? I'm not the one. You are the one. I'm just the messenger. I'm the one to give you the red pill. You are the one to either take it or take the blue pill. See, what y'all don't understand is that you have been living in a machine-like mindset for a long time, and you depend on what mankind make, and that's what's killing you eventually. These people, I'm pretty sure, the 29,000 of them thought they was going to make it to Florida, to Illinois, for example. They thought they was going to make a trip around the world. They probably thought they was going to go from America to China and be just fine. With a Boeing 737s, okay? Not to bring heat on them, just an example here, okay? Don't get your panties in a bunch, all right? I'm pretty sure some of the passengers, if not all of them, were just probably on a vacation trip. They were probably just waking up in the morning, getting onto the tarmac. You know, you get out into the airport and in buses, maybe if they drive it individually, put their car in a car park, that sort of conundrum. And I thought that was going to be just fine. It was going to be a normal day, a normal business day. I know this. I do it a little bit myself, but I haven't did that in a while, though. But I drive, but it's still a risk. However, I myself practice the red pill as well, because if I am telling you, Neo, to be careful, then I'm not going to be the dumb one to do that, because that will be terrible. If you ever found out that Leon C. Morpheus is gone because of a plane crash or something like that, and then here I am with all this red pill and trying to wake you up and save you, that will be a very terrible way to go out, to be a disastrous teacher, a liar, a fluke and a weak punk, a non-alpha, actually a beta, to lie to you like that and tell you to be careful, but yet I'm doing what I don't want you to do. So you won't find me in that situation. I won't become one with the plane as it's falling out of the sky. However, this is important because I tell you in several of my audios that this is an issue that is going to continue because we don't stop. We don't know what the limit is. Do you know how many when I saw all the down airplanes that needed servicing, and again, this is not a default to Boeing, no. But when they had to down all the Boeing planes to reconstruct them again, they were in numbers. These big planes, one plane costs a tremendous amount of money. I'm not going to throw a number out there because I don't know it accurately, but I know it's very expensive for one plane. And there were several of them. I mean, a lot, in the hundreds that was downed. And so what does that tell you? That people aren't concerned about the possibilities of disaster. They're not concerned about their life or the future of their grandkids or what's going to happen. We want to continue to keep building until we are building our metal and computerized casket. We don't stop. That's the problem with humanity. You don't know your limits. You keep messing with fire until fire burns you. Do you understand? I don't stand by the Bible. I don't. But when they said the next coming of your so-called Christ isn't going to be through a flood, it's going to be through fire, I think that might be very, very accurate because y'all keep sticking your tongue in the light socket and thinking it's cute and funny. What y'all do is build an let me tell you how funny y'all are sometimes. What y'all would do is build a village around a sleeping volcano and think nature is as weak, passive, and as uneducated as you. That's what you think. You think God is like you. I'm saying your interpretation of God, not mine. I'm just bringing it to you this way because sometimes that'll wrinkle your fancy. As a human person, you think God needs to go to needs to graduate from, what's that school? Harvard University in order to train you as a human, or sheep. You think you're smarter than God. So what you do is build a village around a volcano and depend on a scientist, listen, mind you, who isn't God, who didn't create the sun, who did not make the earth, who did not put Saturn up there, Jupiter, Mars, okay, who didn't make the Milky Way, who pretty much did not travel to every star in the entire universe. And you're going to believe this funny, big glasses, big teeth, probably haven't got anything, probably still a virgin, strange person. And they're going to tell you, oh, this volcano been asleep for 20 years. You don't have to worry about it. It's never been active. Never been active. And because you hate God, because you hate nature, you build your family, your neighborhood, and your entire life around this volcano until it erupts. Tell me that Morpheus is a lie, because there was a report, I think it was a couple of years ago. This is the 2020s today. There was a few years ago where a volcano did erupt and everybody had to vacate that village. Why? Because they were stupid. I keep it uncut here. It's not because you were smart. It wasn't because y'all was well learned and evolved species. No, because you had your trust in man. You didn't have your trust in nature. That's your problem there. Because y'all still do not get the message. Y'all still playing with fire until you are engulfed in it. You are the reason why. Oh, okay. Let me slow down because I'm ready to cut some knees for a second here. And I'm doing, you notice I'm trying my best not to roast anybody. I'm just being clear, uncut, and face to face with you with this conversation. There was an accident with there was a nuclear reaction with the reactor, an energy reactor. And I think that was somewhere in, the east part of the world. I think it was in China or Japan, somewhere like that. I don't want to get it wrong because I remember it because I read about it and I studied it as well. But I need to I would like to always read something to let you know accurately, not to confuse you. But some of you know what I'm talking about. There was a nuclear reactor that was a meltdown because y'all keep playing with fire, because y'all think it's cute, because you're immortal and God's a stupid dumbass. God's the dummy. Human beings is God. You're still trying to destroy God and put man in God's image. That's your problem. And so this nuclear reaction for years, but that meltdown, I don't know if it was explosion. It was probably an explosion, but that nuclear meltdown that have occurred destroyed many of people's lives and caused a widespread radiation contamination, or a hazard for that city. Okay, for that town, for that large, massive land area over there for years, for a long time, because y'all love playing with fire, because y'all so invincible. Because God don't know anything, but you do, because you went to Harvard University. You can't even count every follicle in hair on your head, but you think you can make an automobile that can think for the average human being. There is something about the human being that is smarter than a computer, and it's called awareness and instincts. No matter how many computer chips and simulations that you make on your robots and your computers and your androids that you want to make to be a computer, or a living being, it still is going to be inferior to the average human. But you know what? The average human's mind is inferior to the computer, because the average human today is a sheep thinking human, because that person gives away all their power, their proceeds and ideas to a computer instead of thinking for themselves. That's why you disappear. Do not understand. That's why your families deal with the struggles that they do. That's why in the function of society today, we don't even know how to get along, come together and make a new family, focus on our children, focus on the future naturally and organically, because we're living a computerized transhumanist life. But yet you, often, maybe not you in the front of the classroom, but the majority of you, okay, who's always thinking I'm progressive, let's keep creating, or say something as stupid and dumb like Elon Musk and say, well, if nobody makes it, it's not going to be made. Duh. Something as ignorant as that. Okay. Love to continue to put your head in the bread box until it's missing. What that means is you create things that are devastating to the human body. And then when catastrophe strikes, everybody's standing around stupid like, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh my God, this sinkhole over here. We kept fracking. We kept fracking under the ground over here. I didn't know the building was going to collapse. Duh. I built this 20,000 ton bulldozer. I didn't know it was going to flip over here and dig a hole right into the bottom of the earth. Duh. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know that if I created this electromagnetic field sort of thing, that it was going to explode and destroy all the whole town and knock out the light grid. Because I'm smart. Because if it's not made, then if nobody make it, it's not going to be made. No, if nobody makes it and it's not going to be made, lives will still be here today. Let me say that again. If it's not going to be made because nobody makes it, Elon, then several thousand, if not million lives will still exist today, because they didn't make a catastrophe of a thing that will automatically wipe away human lives. Go take that and put it in your Cheerios and put a smile on your face. That's not called genius. It's called a devil in disguise. I don't want to hear this nonsense about, well, people use the technology for wrong. We didn't make it for that. It's just some people take advantage of it. Well, why not make it at all? But no, you don't know how to keep things at a minimum. I can understand having a few planes in the sky, because you need some people going back and forth. We need some business. We need some cargo, and we need the economy to keep flourishing. But do you understand that we are congesting the highways? Do you know what that means? That means we're doing too much where we don't know the limits. But you know what? Like I always say, it don't matter, because that's what makes you human. And that's what makes nature have to step in and step on your pretty little toes and your funny, creative, manipulated, computerized head. So I'm going to cut to the chase, and I'm going to read for you. I'm going to read for you the list of recalls of new cars today with issues from these so-called geniuses that you put your life on. And not only that, I want you to do your own calculation if driving an autonomous car will be wise to do with your great grandson. But no, y'all worry about yourselves because it's your stock market. Y'all worry about yourself because you make money off these robotics. You make money off of automail. You make money off of computer chips. So you don't care about what happens to the generation that's going to come after you. All you care about is yourself. And you wonder why these teenagers and these kids look angry all the time. Because they got to deal with your dumb BS because you only care about your riches, yourself. You don't care about what's going to happen to the next person, because you know why? Y'all still going to make, I was going to say another word. Y'all still going to make dangerous, hazardous contraptions and call it modern technology and call it survival. It's not, the human race is no longer trying to survive. It's not about survival anymore. You're just trying to create stuff now because you're bored. You're creating death for yourself in the form of a machine. Oh, y'all don't like it when I talk like that because it's too real. But no, because you're too lazy and you love what your technology have done for you, because you don't have to lift a finger. You just go ahead and sit there, turn to a couch potato, and let your uniquely perfect, wonderful, best machine that the universe ever created go down to dust, to recede, to entropied, until it's nothing. So let me read the list for you. Atrophy, forgive me, excuse me. What I'm going to do is start off with the older vehicles and then begin with the new. Just a few older ones and a few newer ones. So the number one on the list is the Ford F-150. It had a lot of recalls and a lot of issues. Let me see if I can read it here. Traveling back in the 1998 model, so fateful for so many automakers. The Ford F-150 matched the unusually high total of the Accord. I can't read the rest of that. Let's see. Okay. Of the Accord by issuing 18 recalls that year with 1,349 complaints filed to the NHTSA. Numerous lighting problems, potential fuel leaks, an overheating speed control switch, and the possibility of the wheels separating from the vehicle. Wow. Were notable hazards that warranted recalls that year. Considering F-150 sales approached the million mark several times, it's easy to see how recalls can add up to the astronomical figure. On to the next one. The Honda Accord. I gotta speed up and read some of the, I'm not gonna read the beginning parts. I'm gonna read up to the second part, what y'all really need to know and want to hear. For one of the more hideous records in the auto history, however, a look at the 1998 Honda Accord is useful. The NHTSA listed 18 separate recalls and nearly 1,100 complaints for that edition of Accord. Several of the recalls had to do with lighting issue. Several serious problems were amongst the numbers. Of course, they're not going to put the details what those serious matters is so you don't freak out. Seat belts that could break off from their latches. Y'all, are you listening to me? Seat belts that could break off from their latches, a faulty ignition switch, sudden engine stalling, potential for rollaway after parking, and power failure were recall-worthy defects from that model year. The next one talks about the Mercury Topaz, but the Mercury Topaz is no longer on the road. But it said it was considered to be in the number of vehicles that were involved in potential recalls, about 8.1 million. Ladies and gentlemen, who makes Mercury? Continuing on. Here's another one. Ford Explorer. Imagine that. Flashback to the 1998 model, and the picture of a very troubled past emerges. The Ford Explorer from the 1998 model year racked up 14 recalls and nearly 2,000 complaints to the NHTSA. Now, mind you, this is me speaking right now. There are usually cars that we have now on the road currently that have a lot of issues, but it takes the bold and the beautiful to actually put in the proper words in the complaints to these manufacturers and to the NHTSA. And the more complaints that wise and brave people send to the to these sources, the better it is to get these recalls taken care of. If you notice, it talks about how many complaints they need first before they realize they made a piece of junk. And these aren't vehicles that I buy. Now, we know about this vehicle, so I'm not going to really talk about it. But they said the Dodge Caravan as well had a lot of recalls that we don't have to talk about. It was just too much to list. It was the... let me go ahead and read that for you. The Dodge Caravan has been hauling families across the lower 48 and beyond since 1984, but it would be the second generation model disputing in 1990 that starts the clock on this recount tally at 7.7 million potentially affected models. I expect that y'all are listening to me while I'm reading this. It's been a busy quarter century for the dealers, servicing and updating recall caravans. In May 2014, several 100,000 caravans were recalled for faulty power window switches that could, listen, catch on fire. Outrageous, my Neos of America. Previously, models, I think you pronounce that CIRCA, 2008 through 2010, had a pair of recalls resulting in a retrofit of handicapped seating equipment, which in one instant comprised the vehicle's fuel pipes. Are you serious? It compromised the vehicle's fuel pipes? This is mind-blowing. This is the first time me reading this. I'm actually reading this as I'm reading it to you. Of course, the next one is the Ford Taurus. This was the 1968 and the 1992. And the Ford's full-size sedan at 2008. 1992 and 2008. Longevity comes at opportunity for glitches, and the Taurus has had its share since 1990. Around 7.4 million models have been named as potentially affected in recalls in that quarter century time. The latest version had its most recent recall in July 2014. But a look back at the 1990s show a myriad, I think that's how you pronounce that, I don't know, of problems. A 1997 recall centered around the faulty fan that could cause smoke or flames. And the 2008 recall that brought in the second generation with with models for electrical problems. Imagine that. The next one is the Toyota Tacoma. The recalls was 7.3 million since 1990. And speeding forward, it says the issue was the airbags, the seat belts, as well as a potential entrapment problem. Wow. In the Tacoma, owners of the 2010 models must be exhausted from the many trips they have to make to the Toyota's service center over the years. Y'all need more evidence? Okay. It's getting serious now. Chevy Malibu. Part of the ignition switch debacle that engulfed the automaker in 2014. Some 6.7 million models of the Malibu, including variants as a Malibu Classic, and were involved in recalls. Example, the 2014 flashback, whatever, junk, power steering, crap. Yeah, these sound like American vehicles to me. What about you? But it says here, but it didn't stop it from bringing named North American Car of the Year 2008. A recount may be in order. That's amazing. The Chevy Malibu was called, what did it say? The North American Car of the Year in 2008, but it had all these problems. Wow. See, you see how much of a bozo that we are. See, I'm going to get to that in just a moment. I'm really going to get to that because it really, what bothers me is America. I mean, just think about it. America is supposed to be not just, well, you could say the land of the free and opportunity, but we are so lackadaisically stupid at times where things as simple as this. Me, I never bought the car, never stood next to the car. You couldn't get me to sit in your passenger seat of a pile of junk like this. But yet we are so willing to call this the car of the year in 2008 with all these issues. See how backwards we are? We accept trash. And you wonder why our society is crippled when it comes to socializing. You wonder why we have broken families. You wonder why we have a bad standard when it comes to politics and the issues of our standing infrastructure. Because we don't pay attention to crap, because we accept it. We accept the fall of quality. We accept junk. And just because it's an American vehicle, yes, I'm going to stand behind it and say that it's the car of the year because it's a Chevy. I don't care that it's 6.7 million worth of recalls, but it's the car of the year. And you wonder why China laughs at us and they go and make something else better than the American people and still on the road today. Because let me stop. Some of y'all, because you like making and supporting junk. That's why our lives is making and supporting junk. That's all we know to make money off of. It's called planned obsolescence. You couldn't sell that BS to me. I'll send it back in the trash heap. I'll do a bonfire with that pile of junk real fast. A lot of people know about the Chevrolet HHR. It says that it's amazing how all these are Fords and Chevys. It just tickles my fancy. You had a couple of Fords, a Honda there and a Toyota Tacoma. Anyhow, what is a Chevy HHR? It was, per GM, General Motors, a trendy mid-sized vehicle that had a brief production. Yeah, imagine that. Run lasting from 2005, 2011. Unfortunately, that was the era of again, how many times are we going to say this? Faulty ignition switch. Are y'all listening to me? How many times have I said that for all these vehicles? Faulty ignition switch. How can Ford and Chevy have faulty ignition switch and they supposed to be a different brand? That's because they're sharing parts. That's because they're like, we're going to find a way to get over on these people and make junk and sell it because the average obese, unthinking, uneducated American is going to buy it because buy American. Buy American. Even if it's going to be 7.7 billion recalls, but I don't care. It's American. It's the American thing to do. So let's share this crappy ignition switch. Let's share these heating systems. Let's share the electrical units. Let's share our blueprints and let it all go in flames. Because we're American. No, we're bozo. Oh, y'all don't like me. Y'all don't like me. Well, you know what? Read it for yourself then. Read it for yourself. Okay, I didn't write this. This is written for you to read. Y'all just don't care. And you put your great-great-grandchildren in this junk and say, oh, it's okay. I trust in man. I don't trust in nature. Even though they've been sticking you all year long, generation after generation, you still buy this crap. You got nerve to use it for a daily drive or use it as a construction site truck or car or something like that. And it breaks down on you. Have you ever heard the word guinea pig? You know what the word guinea pig means? Do you know what the word guinea pig means? Or you can't hear past your hot dog and cheese sandwiches that you eat daily. So I'm too tired. I really don't want to read this of the Chevy HHR. This is say it was a pile of junk. And it told you it was limited 2005, 2011 for the fools who brought it. How about that? The Dodge Ram. Woo! Wee! Dodge Ram pickup, now simply Ram. And the, let's say, obsolete Pontiac Grand Prix. Tied for 10th and 11th, technically placed on the list of vehicles most potentially affected by recalls. Notices 5.7 million. Dang it, since 1990. Wow. How many? Let me stop. Stay on subject here. Since Ram pickups are such high volume sellers and the Grand Prix no longer exist, thank God, it's a safe bet that the Ram trucks were recalled in fair higher volumes than the Pontiacs were. Yeah, because people kept driving them and didn't care. Guinea pigs brought it and said, okay, I'm gonna keep on doing it anyway. I don't care. I'm American. I don't care. I'm American. I don't care. I'm American. I'm stupid. Okay. So, 1.2 million Ram trucks from the past decades were recalled due to, listen carefully, are you ready? Drum roll. Steering system problems. Imagine that. You're driving this trusty human-made truck by reputable sources and you can't even steer the damn thing. Gesture the crest. All right, so let's say here, let's go. We're going to switch the dialogue here to a little bit more because it's getting a little bit serious here and the time is getting longer. Takata airbags. January the 7th. Listen carefully. Look at the year. Now we're getting recent, y'all. Listen. January 7th, 2021. Okay, it looked like the screen switched on me. Hold on. I've got to do something here. There we go. 19 automakers, approximately 67 million Takata airbags. What in the name of bologna and cheese sandwiches? Next, y'all ready? Ford, June 11 of 2020. That's recent, ladies and gentlemen. Recent. Doors may not securely close on certain Fiesta, Fusion, Mustang, Escape, C-Max, Focus, Transit Connect, Lincoln MKZ, wow, and MKC vehicles. These vehicles were previously recalled. However, the repair may not have been completed properly. Are y'all listening to me? This is Ford here, 2020. Y'all think it's this Jim? Okay, here's another one. Nissan. How about that? In May 28, 2020, the hood on certain 2013s to 2018 Nissan Altimas could unexpectedly open while the vehicle is You know what? This makes me want to roll up a piece of... You know how when a dog does something wrong, and it's not, I don't think it's abuse, but if the dog like jumps up on the countertop and grabs some meat or knock over a gallon of milk, no, you just want to roll up a newspaper and just smack the dog on the ass or the top of the forehead and it know it did wrong. Just smack. Sometimes people need a rolled up newspaper to be smacked on top of the forehead, because sometimes we're just stupid. We don't listen to a damn thing nobody's saying. The hood on certain 2013s and 2018 Nissan Altimas could unexpectedly open while the vehicle is being driven. My God, America. Because of an issue with the secondary hood latch. Some vehicles included in this recall were previously recalled and will need additional repairs. About 1,800,000 vehicles are affected. Because 1,800,000 vehicles was brought by 1,800,000 morons. How about those numbers and cookies? God dang it, we stupid. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. A 2020 Ford Expedition. The Ford passenger seat belt defect of a 2020. Listen, don't y'all understand that's last year? Or am I speaking stupid to you? Probably. I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward this. I'm not going to go to the details. I'm just going to tell you the title and what's going on with these vehicles, and you can do your own research. I don't need to tell you how bad the defect is. Okay, if you brought it, you're the fool. Okay, because I don't have these cars in my garage, and I wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I would use it as fodder. I would just like what you do with a rolled up piece of paper. I'll send that stuff right in front of their doorstep of the manufacturer and say, take this bush back. I'm not your fool. I'm not your dummy. But you know what? I never bought the vehicles anyway, so there you go. Y'all stuck yourselves. I've done my research a long time ago. Y'all just buy these because it look cute. That's your problem. Especially you Ford Fusion drivers. Let me stop. Because some of y'all getting offended. Well, it's your car, not mine. I can talk like that because it's not in my garage. I'm smarter than that. I did my research first, and I always do. I don't buy American. Oh, here we go. Somebody's offended now. Yeah, I don't buy American. Next. Yeah, I spit on it. 2020. This is 2020. Hyundai, Nexo, and Sonata. You ready? The remote smart parking assist failure. Oh, Morpheus is full of BS. You don't know what he's talking about, huh? They just told you. Y'all ready for the next one? Okay. 2020 Toyota Corolla hatchback. Damaged rear hatch connector. Wow, these are 2020. See? It'd be a different story if it was like, well, again, 2001, 2004, 2008, 2010, 12. Those can be kind of, it's been on the road for quite some time. These are cars that are 2 years damn old. Gracious. Next one. Oh my God, one of my good cars that I like. Oh, here we go. You ready? 2013 to 2016 BMW 3 Series constant velocity joint problem. Why? Let me read on this. Nearly 8,500 models are affected. This is what tickles my fancy. Nearly 8,500 models are affected. The problem lies with the constant velocity joint. The joint transfers power between the transfer case and the rear drive shaft, which can be damaged, possibly resulting in the loss. Oh my goodness. Check this. I'm trying to be nice. Check this mess out. Listen. Which can be damaged, possibly resulting in a loss of control in the rear wheels and the brakes. No matter which one occurs, it can cause the car to crash or leave the passengers with dramatic injuries. If y'all don't wait, the peanut butter and jelly, crawdads, carrots, bologna, hog mogs, and Fokker juice up. You're going to find yourself. Keep on playing. Y'all going to find yourself in the mortuary before you can even. Let me stop. Y'all just. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Because you don't have to care. You don't have to care. Okay. How about this? You don't have to care about your life. Care about your great grandkids' life by you purchasing, supporting, and putting your money on these pieces of crap that you put in your stock market, that you invest in your portfolio. You're invested in somebody's death. Selfish. See if I can get this going on here. All right. Let's adjust it here. 2019 to 2020 Chevrolet Bolt EV. Long rear door handle cable. These things are brand spanking new. Are you serious? I'm not going to talk about the details of it, but I'm going to say it's reportedly 897 vehicles are affected. Now, okay, let's do the math here. They made more than 897 vehicles. Why would only 897 vehicles be affected off of the assembly line? That means there's a glitch in the system, Americans. Let me stop. Harvard University morons. How are you going to have, okay, if I make like 20 pies, how am I going to have 5 pies that are defective? Didn't I do my quality control? Something tells me that, no, it's not like 5 pies are affected. It's just 5 pies that are known and busted are exposed or been analyzed and evaluated to be affected. Most likely the rest of them are effective as well. The 15 of them, you may not see it on the surface, but they are also poisonous and effective. So that means the whole line of the car. They just want to, let me stop. They just want to sell the majority. They want to sell most of it to the moron pack mule guinea pigs that's going to buy it, and be down with the rest of it. Let you deal with the rest. Make you you already brought into it. So now it's like, okay, the rest of the few that's already off the similar line, they're in the buy here, pay here. Like, are they at a race going somewhere? Who knows? Another car lot around your time, dubs and dubs. Spinning the wheels, mom and pop places. Man, I don't care. We sold like 895 and that was effective by that time. And here's the math. If they sold 2,000 of them, okay, only 897 was considered to be defects and bad. The rest of them are already on the road. People are driving them and they just don't give it. They don't care. No, it's the only car that I have to get back and forth to work, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I don't have time to do the recall, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep riding it until the end. Until the Grand Reaper is standing before me. I'm like, I don't know what happened, George. Which way did it go, George? Which way did it go? Because I'm American, and I can see you right now laying down flat on the ground, and you got an American flag swaying over your hands like you see in a cartoon. You holding up the flag. Yeah, there he is. There's Mr. Bozo. He didn't care. He brought his mechanic plastic, fiberglass, recycled plastic, recycled upholstery, ridiculous rubbered wheels, manufacturer trash coffin. Because he did the research and he has a Harvard degree. Next one. I never buy these cars anyway. Whenever I purchase or I play a racing simulator or a race car game, I don't drive Fords. I don't even drive the Ford Focuses ever. Okay, if that will be the end of all time. If you ever catch me even playing, I won't even play it on a video game. That's what I'm saying. I won't even play it on a video game. I don't like the car. You say, why, Morpheus? Because I'm smarter than you. Oh, y'all don't like that. Y'all don't like it. Because I know history of Ford. I've been knowing Ford since I've known anything about cars. And something smelled stanky. It looked stanky. It looked like a pile of brown stuff. When you poke and you put your finger in it and it looks like it, then it is, and you smell it, it might be exactly what it is. So I was smart enough to stay away from it. Let me stop. Next car is, oh, well, I wonder what this is. Oh my God, Morpheus. Yeah, the 2011 to the 2016 Ford Fiesta. Imagine that. And the 2012 and the 2016, that is between 2012 and between 2016, Ford Focus. Y'all ready? Drum roll again, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know what it is? Transmission problems. One of the most expensive parts on a car. You don't buy a car to buy the car twice over. When you put a transmission in a car, you buy in the car twice because the cars really aren't as expensive as you think they are when you roll it off the lot, because there's inflation, there's a dealer pay, there's taxes, and every other type of pending payment they want to try to tag you for. When most of those piles of recycled garbage is nothing but $8,000 or less. And here you go buying another transmission for a pile of junk because I'm American. Yes, I'm American. Yes. And China's sitting back like, you fools. Hold my beer. Let's not get into the Italians. The Italians are saying, you know, you Americans are just a bunch of goofy doofy. Okay, next one. 2018 through 2019. The Mercedes Maybach S-Class engine oil plugs weakness. Now that's expensive. Engine oil plugs. This sounds like a diesel engine because diesel have they have glow plugs, but engine oil plugs. Okay, so that's combustion engine. Okay, it's not. Okay, I thought it was like glow plugs. These are actually engine oil plugs that can be expensive. Glow plugs on the engine, you can actually change those out and change the connecting tube that goes onto it. Some of them are pipes, depending on how you screw it on there. But these oil plugs, that can lead to additional expensive problems. Let's read on it, ladies and gentlemen. This is approximately 9,800 gesture to Christ vehicles are affected in mentioned models as the engine loads increase as a result of delivering more powers to the wheel. What that is power from the engine to the wheel, basically, ladies and gentlemen. They're trying to be technically ignorant with their vocabulary here. Two engine oil plugs may not withstand that situation. This condition leads to an oil leak that can cause slippery road conditions. Or maybe it could lead to the engine losing all the oil in stall. Okay, they're not really being direct with you. Okay, you can lock the engine up. How about that? Because when you lose all your oil out of your engine and you ride it long enough before it seizes up and locks, okay, yeah, it's going to start smoking. The engine's going to start throwing out warning signs and things like that. But still, going on a long trip, you're trying to make it home, you might as well forget it. Or you can drive this huge, expensive Mercedes Maybach and have you several quarts of oil in the trunk and call it a day, which I'm pretty sure most people have done eventually. I mean, it's an expensive car. It's kind of silly, but I mean, you're losing oil. So, I mean, what are you going to do but add oil to prevent your oil loss? That's silly, but hey, you bought the car. Y'all like the junk. So, deal with it. I'm just a messenger. I don't have a Mercedes Maybach. Next, 2020. This is the 2020. I saw this in the movies once. Expensive people drive junk like this. They don't care anyway. I got the money to be a guinea pig. I don't care. I'm a dummy. Take all my money. I'm a basketball player. I'm a football player. I'm an ex-rapper. I'm a music star. So yeah, man, I don't care. I'm just leasing it anyway. It doesn't matter. My grandkids might support this car manufacturer, but sure. I'm looking good in a pile of junk. 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE class and GLS class insufficiently welded rear crossmember. Woo, boy. Can y'all, the more I read this, actually makes my skin crawl. It makes me angry. It really makes me angry because I care about people. And the first thing I think about is your child or a child. I don't care. A child sitting in the back seat of this pile of junk. And next thing you know, you hear thump. And you lose control of this car and you spinning 360 out of control in complete darkness. You don't know what happened to you, and you standing before the pearly gates. And God's like, let me show you a picture of what happened. Are you sure you can stomach this? And you sit there and you watch this car spiral out of control. Nobody hit you. It was the car itself. It says here about this car, generally when customers live with the dreaming of having a car, they don't expect any flaws in their purchase. Even the, even a small one. But unfortunately, 220 Mercedes owners have experienced that awful state. In this case, the problem is with welding seams on the rear cross member. This can allow cracks to form when towing and cause the rear cross member to detach. Amazing. Just amazing. So you're hauling a U-Haul hatchback box and it has weight to it. And if the thing cracks and breaks off, you can still lose control because it's called gravity and G-forces, and your car is going to notice that the weight is going to dissipate in a matter of seconds, thus causing the car to increase in speed. And if you're not careful, whether you're on traffic or you're going around a turn, and the weight of the load pushes the back of your Mercedes while you're going down an incline or going up a hill or you're going up the highway ramp, and you're making a sharp turn and it snaps, flying backwards. This is crazy. Now, you may think I'm being dramatic. I didn't write this. I did not write this. Okay, here's another one. 2020 BMW X3 and the X4 and the 3 Series and the 8 Series. Guess what? Front seatbelt buckles failure. It's not like people are really trying to kill you. I'm not trying to cause a catastrophe here. I'm really not trying. This is not a conspiracy, and I'm really not trying to. My intentions is not to scare you. My intentions is to save your life and your child's life and your child's child's life and your child's 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 life by paying attention to what you are buying and what you are getting yourself into when you say the autonomous vehicle is the way to go. If this stuff is happening to vehicles this recent, vehicles this expensive, vehicles this known, how much more this new creature called a car that can drive you without your hands on the steering wheel? You can't even have control of your car with your hand on the steering wheel with all these faulty issues and dangerous defects, let alone if you take your hand off of the steering wheel. Are you a dummy? That means you're suicidal. Just call it a day and say you are suicidal. It says here, according to this, approximately 3,300 units are affected. Dang. You might as well, they're not going to say the whole line of it because it's too expensive. They're not going to be honest. 3,300 units are affected. No, 3,300 units have been analyzed as affected and known. The rest of them are unknown. They're ticking time bombs. especially when the cars get older. And these owners don't really want to send it back because they think it's too much of a hassle to send their car at a recall. Because some of these people, that's their only car because they don't know how to budget. Or they just want to show off in front of somebody. Hey, look at this BMW X3, what I got. So they're getting something more sensible. They want to get the most expensive pile of name brand junk. Yeah, I said it. Name brand junk. Because it's name brand. Like getting a pair of Jordans and some Nikes. Yeah, they're good shoes. They're expensive, but you can go to some knockoff shoe store. You can go to a mom and pop shoe store. You can go to a unnamed shoe store that can give you the same pair of shoes that might last just as long if you stay out of the mud. If you don't use it for cross country and jogging and running, it will probably still sit there in the shoebox in good condition. It depends on how fat your feet is and how many ho-hos and donkeys you've been eating. Oh, I forgot you're an American, so we might as well forget it. Yeah, go get the Jordans instead. You're ruining the shoes. Yeah, I keep it raw. Because the obesity is off the charts. So let's get back to this. The sensors in the front seat belt buckle may detect a belt passenger as unbelted by mistake. This may not seem as a severe issue, but don't forget that the problem described above possibly causes the airbag to employ, oh my God, improperly in the event of a crash, which can endanger, let me add something to it, the child, which can endanger your grandpa sitting in the passenger seat, which can endanger you or the college student or the teenager, or when you're going from a meeting to a next place, it can endanger you. Yes, because y'all love these cars with all these sensors. Y'all love all this technology from these geeks. Because y'all love your death made on a recycled pile of metal crap. Because you love it because it looks good. Well, okay. Yeah, you know what? I guess if we want our casket to be in a would it have a ribbon on your casket, embroidered with all kind of engravings and gold and silver, and put like a BMW emblem on top of it, maybe a Mercedes or a Ford or a Chevy, I guess, maybe give it a shot. Go ahead. It's like, you deliver a present to somebody, a 4x4, you just have a little bowl on top of it. I mean, I guess, you're driving down the highway, it's the same thing, this expensive piece of junk. And then next thing you know, my wheels are gone, no control. And there you go. You can't turn it because the steering wheel don't want to turn for you. No, let me take that back. Because the steering wheel isn't going to turn. In the autonomous car, the steering wheel isn't going to turn for you, as you assume that it will. And there you go. Timber! There she goes. She made it happen. Or he. All right, goodbye. Next. And guess what? They're going to keep making vehicles like that. They're going to keep doing it because guess what? Y'all keep buying it. Because you don't think. Next one. 2018 to 2020 Bentley. Now, I can't pronounce this, but it's called Bentayga. Bent Trasher. I don't know. A bent metal. I don't know. Bent casket. I think that's how you pronounce. Oh, casket. Oh, it's spelled Bentayga. Casket. The Bentley casket. Oh, I get it. I pronounced it right. Side airbags failure. Ooh. Ooh. The rich and the powerful. Yeah, y'all rich. Gonna be the most expensive thing. Let me stop. All problems in this article hurt. Yeah. But those related to the safety of vehicles threaten the passengers much more. Oh yeah. Morpheus hates this. A related case is the Bentley casket. I'm calling it a casket because I can't pronounce the name, so I don't care. As it is, side curtain airbags don't work correctly. Side airbags don't work correctly. The airbags may not inflate correctly. And you can guess what follows. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop because, ladies and gentlemen, go back to the beginning of the audio. And I know it's like an hour and 19 minutes into this. Do you remember when I said that what would happen if you drive down this road and some moron decide to go past the red light, not paying attention, looking at the dumb phone, and you just so happen to be right there and they T-bone you? I didn't know that this car was on the list of the recall. I was simply telling you what I know about these trashy automobiles and how they make it because of the anthropomorphic personalities embedded in these technically overly expensive piles of recycled junk. And here you are at your evidence. I did not read this before I read it to you. I'm reading it as I'm reading it to you. I'm getting the same information, and here's your confirmation. Wow. Amazing. Just plain amazing. And we got a few more here, and we're going to call it quits because this audio is really going longer than what I want it to be. It's so much more. The 2014 through 2016 Ford Fiesta and Fusion and Lincoln MKZ latch prow spring. It's a tab design failure. Wow. Thanks, Ford. Y'all like this car. But the next one is 2019 through the 2020s. Audi A6. Possible electrical short circuit in the starter generator caused by moisture penetration. Outrageous. Outrageous. I'm going on to the next. I'm just speeding it up because the results is catastrophe. The results, you cannot make a mistake driving from one location to the next. Some of y'all go 60 to 70 miles per hour in these things, and you don't know that you're driving down the road in a mobile coffin with wheels because you don't pay attention to the matrix. You don't pay attention to what people are doing to you and your family because you just want to buy. You don't care. It's your stock market. It's my money. I put Bitcoins on that. This was my portfolio. The parts on here was what I support. All right, you're going to be supporting it while you let me stop. Okay, you're going to be supporting daisies. That's what you're going to be supporting. You know, a rich man can't make it to heaven no more than the eye of a needle. Have you heard that expression, huh? Next is 2017 through the 2019 Audi Q7. Oh, this is oh my God. Listen, loose steering shaft connecting bolt. Are you? What? I'm having problems reading this because I'm really not understanding what I'm reading here. I'm not understanding what I'm reading here. As a mechanic, as somebody who is well in tune with cars, that sounds like to me that reminds me of a movie where you're racing against somebody and they purposely cut your brake line. So you have no stopping power. In a movie, that is. Like this, in all these vehicles is like this. Oh, because, we just consumers. Yeah, you're a consumer, all right. My goodness. 2020 Infiniti Q60. Here we go again. Rear seat belt flaw. Oh. Who sits in a real seat? Most times it's not an adult. It's children. Kids or a teenager. You say, well, nobody's never going to sit back there because you're a rich bozo. Okay. That one day will come. That one day, I forgot about it. I don't care. You'll be safe back there. Here's another one. We thought this car was bulletproof. Ooh, the bulletproof Toyota. Oh, okay. All right. because y'all have faith in man's technology and computers and machines and stuff, because you're still dealing with a flawed human being, a puppy of existence, not higher ranked, lower rank on the food chain. 2020 Toyota Highlander, faulty engine control software. Get the donkey, trench coat, cocoa beans, Popeye the Sailor Man out of here. Outrageous. Faulty engine control software? You're asking, let me stop. Let me go to the next one. Oh, y'all love this one, especially the singers. They always sing about this, right? It seemed like the lesser, but let's read on. 2017 to the 2019 Land Rover Discovery trailer lights may not function when towing. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna drive down the freeway in Los Angeles. Okay, and I have no trailer lights while everybody's driving their expensive supercars, some hypercars, some sports cars, Ford Mustang, and you know, Shelby's, and they don't see my lights in back of the trailer, and pow, you're gone. Then you find yourself flying forward with your beautiful heap of interesting junk called a Land Rover. Land Rover. How about an underground rover after that? See, I hate the Matrix and I hate machines. Every core of my being, because it hurts people. And anything that hurts people bothers me. It hurts me. Next. 2019 to 2020 Volvo cars, SUVs, and wagons. Automatic emergency brake system flaw. Y'all didn't catch that one. Oh, Volvos are great cars. Well, no. Slow your, shut your mouth and listen to what I'm saying. Listen. I said 2019 to the 2020s. Not the 2008s, 2012s, 2004, 2003. They made cars make sense then. That wasn't that time. Now we got teenagers, kids, bozos, I can't wait, low qualified, disconnected, no instinct, I don't care. I'm just here to make a paycheck people on your manufacturer production line, and broke down computers that they've been using for years, put different new blueprints on it, but the same dumb programming to make these cars less of a quality than what they used to be. But yeah, they're going to stamp it at a higher price. Now I'm willing to bet somewhere around $70,000 to $80,000 Volvo, which isn't even worth that much. Years ago, that probably would have been a Porsche or something like that, depending on what year it was. A very expensive Cadillac, but yeah, they want to hike the price up on something that's low quality, less than what it used to be. It almost reminds me of meeting a beautiful girl who's 23 years old and she got no kids and she's ready to go. Then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I don't want to be with you. And then decades later, when she's like 45 years old, then she'll finally come to me and say, okay, I'm ready to be with you. But now I have like 3 or 4 different kids later. I've been married like 4 or 5 different times and I'm 250 pounds. I'm ready for you. Oh, by the way, I got a pimple face and my hair is cut short. And I can't peer behind anymore. And I'm a PhD. And then I'm going to have a higher price I want you to do more than what you used to. I expect more from you than what was ever used to, what the society used to expect back in the 1980s, back 1970s, 1960s. I want you to make 6 to 7 a year. Then you can take me. But I'm ready for you nonetheless. '19 Volkswagen Arteon. Incorrectly installed electronic brake booster pressure input. Wow, that's a lot to say something that's very simple. I'm pretty sure it's probably simpler than that. Them in their technical term to get your tongue tied. Incorrectly installed electronic brake booster pressure input. You know, that person was smoking on some serious stogies. Get on for the next one. Oh, this is almost like my car. I got a different year, though. I'm going to tell you what it is. And I'm going to stop at this because we are getting out of control with the time here. Because these are, you can keep going. It doesn't stop. Okay, we got two more cars. I can bear with it. Y'all can bear with me. 2013 to 2019 Lexus and Toyota cars. Are you ready? 2013, 2019. Fuel pump problems. Are you serious? This is, yo, God dang it. It's like during the year 2013, people just went to sleep. 13 years later from 2020, from year 2000, the Y2K scare. Like a 13-year-old. Like 13 years later, we all just going to deal with the catastrophe of what we made. Just going to be slumped. Just going to be just an impassant on the chessboard. Just stand there and do nothing. Next one. Y'all like this car. I thought this was interesting until I did my research. 2020 to the 2021s. Wow. Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes-AMG, Mercedes Maybach cars and SUVs. Instrument cluster software flaw. Wow. Well, that kind of beats Doug DeMuro's idea of the infotainment center situation. I guess there was a reason behind it because these cars are junk. But y'all want it because you want your lazy push button lifestyle. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits on that because it gets longer and longer. But these are research that you can do. Don't get mad at Morpheus because, like I said, that's not my problem. But it is my task to deliver you from these situations and give you the red pill of what's happening to you in your world. And to give you the single law is why I mean that it's no good to try to go into a society of autonomous vehicles to depend on these cars as if they are flawless. It's one thing to drive down the road and you have control of the vehicle and it still have its issues and recalls, but it's something totally different when you don't have control at all. You're just sitting back smoking on something or whatever fun you think you're having, and the car is controlling you. Or you got these so-called super cruises that I talked about in one of my other audios, super cruise systems. You are gambling with your life because you don't believe in, you don't stand by nature anymore. No, your language of belief needs to be transformed to knowing nature, knowing human beings, knowing people, knowing that the quality of life isn't what it used to be. The quality of creation of things is based on a quick payout, quick money, quick get rich scheme. Quick pyramid. I'm going to make a planned obsolescent piece of junk because most people want it. Ideology, idea, function, concept, because y'all buy it. And the more you buy it, the more they're going to make it. You know, it's kind of amazing where I seen this coming way before 2013, actually, when a lot of these recalls began in 2014 because of the quality of society then, because of our practices, because of school, because of how the family was being broken apart. And I think I don't know which it was, the first or the second wave of feminism, but things began to disconnect itself from logic and making sense in the world. And so I began to watch how these automobiles was being created and how thin the metal is, even more so thin and fragile. You can practically lean on it and it bends in. You got to go take it to a body shop, put some hot water on it so it can bounce back out or something like that. Ridiculous stuff. Why? To save material? Save money? Oh no, to keep buying crap. That's what it is. So when it breaks, you can buy something else. The same thing over and over again. Recycle junk. The point of the audio is to bring awareness to you and your family to turn away from this autonomous idea. Stop putting your life and your faith and your energy and your trust in man's technology, where for years that has been the very thing that has been destroying people's lives. And the only way they pay you back for the loss of catastrophe, for the loss of a loved one, for the loss of your father or your parents or your children in the back seat, is to give you a damn paycheck. A paycheck that's not going to bring back that life that has been taken because you, as a consumer and owner, decide to put your faith in a piece of junk that have no faith in your life. Has no purpose for you but to take you out of here on a dumb cloud. Because you don't trust in nature. That's your problem. Doing too much. And the first thing y'all do is, well, because the car is cute, it's well known, it's a BMW, it's a Mercedes, so I'm gonna get it. Yeah. You know what they do? They smart now. Oh yeah. See, I was thinking that I've been watching this for quite some time. See, I know that planned obsolescence usually is going to start breaking down after about 5-6 years on your car to 7 to 8, 9. Once it gets to the 10th year, get prepared to start changing transmissions and switches and stuff like that, right? Gears, all kind of computer nodes. What do you call that? I got a name for it. Can't find it, so I'm going to leave it alone. Engine modules. Yep. Steering clusters. Infotainment center. Get ready for that. But guess what? They're like, oh no, that we can't wait for 8 years. I need to secure my company. No, I'm going to start making funny, creative defects and being lazy in my quality control. So now you get the car, a pile of junk off the lot. You buying the junk. Brand spanking new piece of crap because y'all love your technology. Didn't your ancestors, didn't your great fathers, didn't your professors tell you when you overcomplicate a thing, you're going to get a chaos? When you overcomplicate, technolize, over-invest, when you overdo a thing, when you overwire when you make something more complicated than what it needs to be, you're going to find yourself in a claustrophobic F-up situation. It's almost like when you're trying to, I don't know if any of you who listen to me know anything about wiring speakers. I know a lot about cars, a lot about it. Okay. And I've done a lot of wiring speakers and subwoofers and 6x9s and N-dashes. I know about all that. Yes. Morpheus knows all about it. Okay. Been there, done that, drilling holes, put the amplifier over here, putting the power cables down here, positive, negative, ground wire, REMs. Yeah. The thing is, I do it as simple as I can and know exactly where the speaker wires are going to be. Whenever you cross wires and you try to rewire and you have wires everywhere, all over the place, in the ceiling, underneath you just don't know what you're doing. When something go wrong with it, when the speaker go out, but oh yeah, get ready for work. Get ready for work. If all the speakers start bouncing in the in-dash and you can't hear the speaker or you can't hear the sound because something's going on with the head unit, get ready for work. All that's going to have to come out again, and you're going to have to do it because it's overly complicated. But if you make it simple enough, you can pretty much figure out what the problem is by retracing the wires and retracing the speakers and the source. Your cars are so complicated, so ignorantly and dumb put together. It is so downright ridiculous and not even user friendly most times because y'all want that stuff, because you overcomplicate and duplex your simple thinking as a simple person to the point where after 8 years, it's no longer user friendly. You're going to find that car in the junkyard, in the trash heap, because it's no longer any good. And then guess what? You wonder why there's always going to be electrical fire. Why? Because y'all love your junk. And guess what the big thing is? Because you buy it. The more you buy it, they're going to keep selling it. And it's not, again, it's not about you. What about your great grandchild who's going to keep purchasing this car because you supported it? Because you never did no recalls. You never said anything about it. Oh, it's cute. I want it. Oh, well, I don't care that the axle falls out. I survived the 8 years of it. Or I'm just leasing the car. I got it for 1 year and I'm going to send it back. I'm not going to be the one to do the work on it. They're like, oh, okay, well, we got y'all too, because guess what? I just got through saying. What did I just get through saying? A 2020 vehicle. 2020 to 2021. I'm speaking about this now in the year 2021, ladies and gentlemen. So you think you're going to lease a car and escape the catastrophe as well? Nobody. No. The seatbelts are faulty. Even the side airbags are faulty. As soon as you buy this so-called brand new piece of junk, because it's not really brand new. Quality control is not what it used to be. Why? Because y'all are doing too damn much. Instead of slowing your ass down and pay attention to quality and pay attention to how valuable lives are. No, because lives aren't valuable. Money is. Yeah, I said it. Lives aren't valuable. Money is. And your reputation. I don't care. I made like 1 billion of these cars. It don't matter to me. So what? So what? 700 of them are faulty. As long as the rest of them are on the wall, they're happy with our production. It don't matter. Everybody loves our vehicle. So what? 2 or 3 crashes happen per year. It don't matter. They won't figure out that there's a problem with the axle or the engine or the transmission till later on. They're fools. They like it because it has a very expensive and well-known name on it. And they're going to buy it. An expensive mechanic coffin. And the next thing that's going to come for you, American bozos, people, sheeple. Oh, did I say that right? Oh, I think I did say it right. Sheeple is autonomous cars, where you no longer need to feel yourself sliding into the brick wall or to the back of a trailer or off the ditch. It's going to do it for you, since you don't want to think for yourself. Take the red pill and live, or take the blue pill and you'll find your own path that you don't want to go.